Have you ever felt like you don't belong? Like you were alone in the world? That no one understands you? That you're just an outcast? Y'all ever watch Breakfast Club and think, wow, this is good, but what if it had magic in it? Well, have I got a treat for you. Jackson's Diary is a Webtoon original series that follows Jackson, and presumably his diary. Just kidding. The diary isn't important until the second season. Anyways, we follow Jackson in the 1980s, 1990s-esque setting of Jean's high school. JHS is also where we meet our 5 other focuses of the series. Now, this series is very much an expectation shaker series. A series that purposely plays with our expectations that we have in series that are similar to this one. Especially with our 6 characters. Jackson, our main character, is the new kid in school. Talented, smart, and getting all the attention. Xer is the popular jock, the golden boy of JHS. David is the popular jock's best friend and right-hand man. Brenda is the preppy girl. Pamela is the goth girl who fights against society's expectations, and Ronald is the exchange student. All of these characters are pretty similar to pre-established character tropes. The popular kid, the goth, the prep, the exchange student, the new kid. And that's all been done before. And that's done on purpose. These characters are introduced in a way that we would immediately understand. We're pretty much able to see their trope coming from a mile away. We expect these characters to act and behave on a certain path, but that's the idea. That we see these characters in one way, but we're taken in a different direction. Each of our characters are handled beautifully, and I think the 2 leads exemplify this. That being Jackson and Xer. Jackson is the main character of the series. The webtoon is named after him after all, and Xer is a character I didn't expect. Let me explain. I pitched this series as Breakfast Club with magic, and that was mainly a joke, but it's not too far off. The idea of people from different backgrounds and different social circles somehow managing to befriend one another, forming an unlikely group of friends, but also magic. The magic part is kind of an elusive aspect of the series, and I'm not gonna explain it here, but I wanted to touch on it. Because of Xer. The magic in this series is inherently tied to Xer, as he's the one who can seemingly control it. Seemingly is the word I want to use and emphasize. It's actually a really cool part of the series. Since most other series with a popular jock character, they're really good at everything because of talent, I guess? Meanwhile here, Xer is seemingly the golden child because of his magic. While it's unsure if he uses his magic to make himself better at everything, or his magic is kind of just like his will or determination given form, but it's a good explanation as to why Xer is the golden child of JHS. But when Jackson appears, his magic goes on the fritz, as someone starts to upstage him, starts to get all the attention. The 2 act very much as foils, 2 opposites to the golden boy spectrum, and they very much don't get along at first, which is something I really like. This series shows how awkward high school is, how 2 different people might not be able to get along just because of one incident driven by feelings. Xer is jealous of Jackson, and kind of vilifies Jackson in his mind. He takes every little moment of awkwardness or of miscommunication and uses it as a reason not to like him. And don't get me wrong, it gets annoying, but it's something we're all guilty of. Using the littlest things in the world to justify our negative actions towards something or someone else. It's interesting to see a flawed character, someone who's made a lot of mistakes, realize that they've made mistakes and try and gain forgiveness despite of what they've done. But that actually brings us to the other aspect of the series. I mentioned before the idea of people from different backgrounds and different social circles somehow managing to find one another and befriend each other, forming an unlikely group of friends. But Jackson's Diary is a little more than that. All of our characters, in one way or another, are outcasts. Now you might be thinking most of these characters are popular. Most of these characters have friends and are well liked at school. And yeah, most of these characters do and are just that. However, you can be popular yet feel alone. You can be well liked but still feel like you don't belong. Each of our characters deal with it on different levels. Jackson has a complicated family background, with parents who are gone, living with his aunt and uncle in a new place with no family and no friends. Exer, while being the golden boy of high school, the popular jock, is constantly lying and keeping secrets, holding back his feelings and his identity, even from his best friend. Speaking of his best friend, David has a massive crush on his best friend Exer. Pamela is constantly being judged and shunned for a mistake she made against Exer in the past. Ronald is quite literally an exchange student who is not from around here. He is literally Russian. And while Brenda is popular and has many people around her, she isn't really close with a lot of people, as they talk down and shun people like Pamela, who used to be her best friend. In certain aspects, they're all, in their own way, outcasts. Difference, alone. But despite that, despite the fact that their friends won't ever fully be able to understand or relate to them, they're still friends. They're still there for them. It's about to be September soon, and for many people, school is just around the corner. And if that's you, you might feel alone, that no one could never ever understand what you're going through. And maybe that's true. Maybe no one will ever truly understand what you're going through, but that's okay. Because all that matters is that your friends are there for you, and that you're there for your friends. It's alright to be different, as long as you are you. Make sure to read Jackson's Diary on Webtoon now, and check out the wonderful animation I used in this video by Acel Byzantine, a good friend of mine. And like always, thank you for watching, and take care.